Hi guys, thanks for watching. This is going to be my video and experience all about pumping, going back to work, pumping accessories, bottles, all of that. All the stuff I didn't get into basically in my part one. In the first video I talked about my breastfeeding kind of story and my experiences, things that I recommend, accessories as far as breastfeeding type of tank tops and all that kind of stuff. If you're wondering about that, that's going to be in the video before this. So I believe I'm going to upload that first, but this is all about pumping. So, as I mentioned in my video about breastfeeding, the first experience I had with a pump was the Ameda Symphony hospital grade breast pump. I used that in the hospital because I was separated from my baby just for a couple of days while he was in the NICU, and I really liked that pump. I got a good amount of colostrum to begin with as a brand new mother who just had a baby. It was pretty impressive amount of milk that I was able to get, and I'm not sure if that was just my personal experience or if it was also the machine. I really liked it because it was pretty powerful, but it didn't hurt. Like, you know, obviously when you first have a baby and you've never breastfed before, your nipples might be a little sore, and I felt like it was really gentle on them. And also it has a separate button that has for a letdown, which my pump, which I'll talk about in a second, does not currently have, and I found that that really was nice to have. So, and also the hospital gives you Ameda parts, at least at my hospital, and I think the majority of hospitals do use Ameda, so if you have a Ameda pump already, then you can bring home your pump parts with you. At least I was able to, so keep that in mind. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and just talk about my pump. I have the Ameda Purely Yours. Sorry, I'm putting stuff back in here. I'd taken it out. Ameda Purely Yours Ultra pump. Mine came in a bag. And the reason I chose this bag was, well, I didn't choose it. It was paid for by my insurance company. So I just happened to get this, and I did read reviews on it, and it definitely got a pretty good rating. It's supposedly very easy to clean in comparison to Ameda. I can't say because I had a hospital grade one, so I didn't have like the typical one that you would use at home. But I do find it to be very easy to clean. I haven't really had too many issues with this, and I think it's a pretty nice pump. So yeah, oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have put this down here. But here is what the actual like pump machine part looks like. Here you have them two knobs. This is the speed and this is the suction. In the beginning, what I did was I had it at like a medium, like right in the middle here, just to kind of start. And the first time I really started pumping was, well, right when I got home from the hospital, I did start pumping right away, but I didn't continue to do that because it was advised by my doctor to wait to pump until about a month or so into postpartum, because your baby can have nipple confusion. So I decided to hold off on it after those first couple of days that I did use it. So what you do is you just plug it in, you know, to the little side here. Oops. I swear it's not this hard. Plug it in. Why is it a stop? Okay. You plug it into this side here. Sorry. Oh, goodness. You stick your bottle, I've already attached the shield here, and then there is a rubber piece, this thing here. You stick the rubber piece, which is shaped just like that, stick it inside. It's harder to do when you're not looking at it. Oh my gosh. And then you stick your cap on here. You can hear that click in. And then you turn on your machine, stick it on. It's really easy to use. And what's awesome about this, you don't have to wash the tubing. You don't have to wash this. I just wipe it clean every so often. And you just take this off. You take the rubber piece out. You don't even have to wash that. And then you just wash this. Sorry, I'm going to put this back in. You just wash the shield, this part here, which is on there, like, kind of catch the drips. You wash these three. That's the only thing that you have to wash, which is really convenient. From what I've heard from the Ameda parts is you have to wash a ton of little extra pieces, and this is much easier to clean. And just put it back together. Now, I don't have my shield because I think it's in the wash, or in the sink needs to be washed, I have another insert shield, because the one that comes on it originally, I think it's a 25.5 millimeter, or it's 20.5. But anyways, the standard one doesn't fit mine. I'm too big for that. So I put on the 30.5 millimeter flange. Sorry, I keep saying shield. This is a flange. And then I would stick another shield into it, or another flange insert, which was 25.5, or 28.5, I'm sorry. And that fits me pretty well. I found that this machine at first, for some reason, only worked on one side, but then after like a couple of uses, it worked on both sides. So I don't know if I just have a faulty machine, but it's worked ever since then. So I don't know what the deal was, but it works pretty well. When I pump in the beginning, I started pumping, like I said, about 1.5 months postpartum on a regular basis. I would try to pump while my baby was napping. I would do that. He'd nap for 4-hour stretches, 3.5-hour stretches, and in between I would just try to pump. And I'd get about 2.5 to 2 milliliters, not milliliters, ounces, sorry. I have a brain fart there, out of each side, and then I would just like pour it in one, and then I would store it in the freezer. Now this was before I had gotten breast pump storage bags that actually worked. This comes with 6 bottles, so I was running out of solutions to store this, so I went and picked up storage bags, because the original ones that I bought were the Playtex Nurse or Drop-In storage bags. Those, for some reason, I could not for the life of me figure out how to seal. Once you open them up, I couldn't figure out how to seal them back, and obviously that wasn't hygienic, so I just went ahead and threw those out, and I've got the Up and Up brand, Up and Up brand nursing storage bags, or breast milk storage bags. And then they just come like this. You rip off the top here like this. I'll just rip it off because to show you. And then it has all the information on here. Just make sure you fill out, obviously, the name. Might not be important to you if you're not going to be storing this with other people's milk. Your time, date, and volume are going to be very important to you, because you don't want to use old milk. You want to know exactly how much you pumped, because it's not, once you get it in there, you're like, okay, was this really 5 ounces or this 4 ounces? It's a little bit harder to tell because it's in a bag, flat bag like this, and you're putting liquid in there. So I really like these. They store well. They're cheaper. They're off-brand. I love Up and Up brand for most things. Now, along with the bottles that I use, my original plan was to use these Playtex Nurser drop-in bottles. It's got his name on it because we were bringing these to daycare. I was recommended these bottles by my sister, who used them, and they're super easy because you just drop this in, hence the name drop-in, and then you pour your milk in there, and then you're all set to go. And it comes with a cap that like inverts the nipple, so they're really easy to take on the go. And these are really nice, like I said, because you don't necessarily have to like sterilize or wash this bottle every time. You obviously want to do that every single time with a nipple, but these just make it convenient because you throw this away and then voila, clean. So super easy to use. But we also have the 8-ounce bottles. I got the nursing newborn pack, and those are really nice as well, but what my baby likes are these bottles. These are the Born Free bottles. Again, it has stickers on it. I need to take these off from daycare. This is a 5-ounce bottle, although obviously you can fill it up more, so it's probably more like a 7-ounce bottle. And I guess, again, I said Born Free. I got these at Marshall's, and I think that these were clearanced out because, or brought to Marshall's because they're discontinuing this Lion King design. I haven't seen these anywhere, so I'm going to assume that there wasn't anything wrong or anything missing with this set. So I got a set of 3 of these, and my baby likes these. So what's unique about these, let me show you the difference here. This is actually holding more ounces, although this looks bigger. This portion only holds 4. And then my baby likes the style of this nipple better. I'm not sure why, but you can see kind of the differences here. What's different about these as well is, oh, I forgot to put the parts back in when I took it apart, is it comes with these things. And I guess these help with the flow, and also I read on there that was good for colic, I believe, so that I'm not exactly sure how it functions or I know how it functions, but I'm not sure how that function helps it. But you put these two together, it like fits in the fits in there like this. I swear it's easy, it's just hard to do it when you feel like people are watching you, even though no one's watching this yet. And then you just stick it in the bottle once you have your milk or your formula in there, and then you go ahead and you stick the top on, which I just dropped on the floor, so I'm not going to show you. I got butterfingers today. So my baby likes those born-free bottles. And those are the only 2 bottles that we've tried, besides the actual bottles that come with the kit. He used those. But honestly, my baby's not a picky eater. He's not picky when it comes to this kind of stuff. He pretty much eats anything and everything as far as like we do, I'm going to move on to that, supplement with formula as well. So he's not picky. But he likes both of those. Although he is picky about his passies, so go figure. I guess as long as he's getting food, he doesn't really care. So now, moving on to pumping. So pumping at work. So when I went back to work at about 2.5 months postpartum, we had a little bit of issues. We've been having a little bit of issues with the pump. I would pump 3 times a day. I would try to pump in the morning, but I didn't always do that. Right away in the morning when I went to work at about 7:30, and then I would pump again at 10:30-ish, and then about 1 o'clock, and then about 3:30 or 4. And each time in the beginning, I was only getting about 1.5 ounces out of each side, and I couldn't figure it out, like, why am I not getting enough milk? I was getting really discouraged. It was definitely not enough to keep up with my baby's appetite. My baby has a very large appetite. He'll drink 5-6 ounce bottles like nobody's business. And after a week went by, I ran out of my storage supply, so I wasn't able to bring the 5 bottles that they recommended. They recommended 5 4-ounce bottles every single day at daycare. You had to bring your bottles full of milk. They did not do any breast milk handling. That's just their policy, so I always brought that with. But the first day that I brought him there and I picked him up, and they told me that I didn't bring enough milk, even though I brought this recommended storage amount, but my baby just drinks a lot. So they wanted to know if they could give him formula, and I said, well, I would like him to try to drink breast milk, but if you have to give him formula, yes, you can give him formula. They do provide Infamil at his daycare, so they would just give him the milk, or the Infamil formula, his last bottle, and that became a pattern because after about a week my storage ran out. I wasn't producing enough milk. At one point I was getting about 3 ounces out of each side at each pump, but there's each pumping session, but there still was not nearly enough to provide for him for the whole day at daycare, which is about 9.5 hours. So that definitely was something very discouraging to me. I felt really bad. I felt like I wasn't adequate, I guess, and I know it was just really being hard on myself, and I just wanted my baby only to have breast milk, but, you know, I had to accept the fact that, you know, it's not that I wasn't getting enough milk, because when I was at home with him, he was getting sufficient amount of milk. Obviously he doesn't seem hungry. You know, he's very healthy. His weight is very healthy. He's a healthy eater. So the problem is that I don't think that this pump is efficient enough at getting my milk out, and I don't know if it's just the Purely Ameda one. It's gotten good reviews. I have not tried the typical, I think it's the Medela Simply Yours, Simply Yours, Pump and Style. I think Pump and Style, I'm sorry. Couldn't remember what the popular brand of the electric Medela pump was. I'm not sure if that would do a better job at actually, like, extracting the milk or expressing the milk. I'm not really sure, but either way, I just cannot get enough milk out to give to him, provide for him at daycare. So that was something, like I said, very hard for me to deal with. I really thought things were going so well with nursing, and then this kind of put a damper on that. And it was like I was working so hard and I was stressing out. And another thing is that stress greatly decreases your supply. So you definitely, things that you want to do to keep your supply plentiful is drink lots of fluids, try not to stress. So I would, instead of watching all the tiny little droplets that would just drip, drip, drip in there, I would have my phone out and I would go on one of my games and I would just play. So I would nurse one at a time. So that's the thing about this Ameda Purely Yours. The way the flanges are, they're connected, so you can't just use like a makeshift, or you can't use one of the hand-free nursing bras because it's connected. And let me show you. Because it's connected here. You see, with the Medela one, you can take it off and then you can kind of stick it in your bra or your hands-free nursing bra, and then it would hang there by itself. But because I didn't have that, I either had to hold them there, which is a really big pain. It is. So you might want to think about that as well. But I would just do it like one at a time, and then I'd play my little game, and then by the time I looked up, hey, there'd be a 3-ounce bottle. So definitely helps not to, you know, watch your droplets going in, so you're not freaking out about the tiny droplets and not running faucet of milk. Yeah, so definitely, I don't know, I think maybe next time if I qualify for another breast pump, I might try to get the Medela swing pump? The Medela one, the popular Medela one, instead of this. It is easy to clean, and I feel like it does do an okay job at extracting the milk, but I don't know if it's the pump's fault or if it's just me, my body. I do know at about 3 months or so, your body really starts to regulate to your baby's needs, so you're not getting an oversupply and excess of milk, you're just getting enough for what your baby needs. So there's all kinds of tips on there about how you can try to boost your supply. If you Google things, if you watch YouTube videos, there's tons of them. I know oatmeal is recommended, drinking lots of fluids, Gatorade, there's so many theories. If you look it up, give it a try, decide what's safe for you, talk to your doctor. I was going to see a lactation consultant about my low supply issues, but I never got around to doing it. Again, something I should have probably done. But now I'm not bringing my son to daycare. I have a new job where I work part-time and he doesn't have to go to daycare. So we are still supplementing with formula. I'm now getting about 2 bottles worth, so about 12 ounces every day that I pump in those 3 sessions. I still try to get in 3 sessions, although things are very different for me now at this new job. I don't have an office where I can just close the door. So what I've been doing is pumping in the car, and that is a little awkward for some people, but I try to find a quiet, private place where I can pump, and I will do the same thing. I'll get on my phone, play a game, surf Facebook, whatever, and then I will pump on one side and pump on the other. And it comes with a cooler bag. I should have brought it in here to show you, like most do. And I'll put the cooler with the ice packs in there, and then I'll just chill out in my bag until I go drop it off. Sometimes I'm really lucky. I can go in between clients to nurse my son. I will, excuse me, try to do that, but I'm not always able to do that. So when I'm not able to do that, I don't get enough bottles. Obviously, 2 bottles a day is not enough for my 8-hour shifts, those 3 days a week. So I do supplement with formula. Right now, we are using a combination of the Simlac and the Infamil because we got sample packs, like a lot of sample packs. So we are just using those up until they're gone, and then when they're gone, we'll see what we decide to buy at that point. But my son is not a picky eater. As I said, you know, he pretty much eats whatever. He has no problem with formula. He has no problem with breast milk. He has no problems with bottles. He's a good eater. So test out, see what works for your baby. So I think that's pretty much it for pumping. Again, this is another 20-minute video, so I'm sure I could think of things. I'm sure I'll think of things later, but if you have any questions, if you have advice, I still am looking for options to try to boost my supply because I want to give as much breast milk as possible, but I'm not sure what I can do at this point. So any advice is greatly appreciated, and I'm sure other people would appreciate it if they see them in the comments. So thank you for watching. Thanks for your patience. Have a great day.